What's going on? Dandy Crew, it's Danny Drew here, and we are back for another day of Catan. All right, so in the previous ranked game, we were playing our final placement match. We ended up having a 50% win rate going into the leaderboard, Turbo Tuesday. So this will be game 11. Unfortunately, this is going to be pre-recorded because, well, to be honest with you, I didn't have the mic on. So the mic setting was not on. Obviously, it recorded the gameplay, but it didn't record me speaking. So I'm going to talk you through this game. Let's get into it. Hope you enjoy. All right, we got aboard Turbo Tuesday in the third position. Now, let's take a look. Let's kind of figure out what we got going on here. So we are in the third position. Kind of an interesting situation, right? Because there's not an incredible amount of wheat. We do have this 634 on the left-hand side. Also, the 634 on the right-hand side as well with the double wheat situation. The ore is also kind of interestingly placed where it feels like maybe 3 players only get the ore. Brick, also kind of interesting. It's like a very strange board in that sense. Like nothing really stands out to me immensely for third. But I guess maybe for first, you're looking at something like the 9-5-10, 3 unique resources. If you really like ore production, you could also go 9-5-10 in the top right-hand corner as well. Ore is a very valuable resource, and there's some potential play to work the wheat maybe on the way back. And then we actually, I think, looking at this situation for us in third, I mean, I kind of like it. You know, we've got multiple spots, whether it's the 5-9-10, 6-5-11, 6-3-4. So kind of without further ado, I really like the 6-5-11. It does give us the kind of the cleanest ore, and then we do have the 2 wheat options on the way back. So typically, if I know I can play a particular setup, let's say like ore wheat sheep, then I will do it. So I know that I can either go 6-3-4, which is fantastic, or I can just end up going on something like the 8-3-4. I don't think this other player is going to take both. Now, that would be interesting if they did. If we ever end up getting something like the 6-3-4 starting road, man, that's an amazing setup for us. So I already like our chances. And just kind of looking at this too, so one interesting note for this position is actually the sheep. You'll notice, like, with the sheep having 4 tiles, usually that means it's one of the most abundant resources. But when only one of those tiles is a 6 and you got the double 11s and the 12, there might be a situation here where this sheep can get locked away. So that's why I really like this 6-5-11 is that we're going to have dominance on the sheep production. We're going to have great ore to work with. And it gives us a lot of favorability with this board. 9-4-2, man, that's a weird pick. But you kind of see what they're doing here, right? And then we get an incredible 6-3-4. So we'll talk about this pick once we place down here. 6-3-4 is amazing. Like, I am beyond happy. I've got so many ways that I can work this position. And I decided to point left. I've got a few different ways. I can either go straight to the wheat port. I can drop an extra road and go to the 8-3. 6-4-11, fantastic pick here for orange. Kind of more or less completes their ore wheat sheep. And then they also get onto this important sheep, which, okay, weird game. The person I don't like the most here was Black's decision. I kind of feel like going on this whole configuration is a little bit too slow, right? They need a road settle and then pointing up. Man, much better to point left, right? They get the ability to road settle 8-10, but also they can just go 2 roads to the 9-3-11, which was kind of like the idea anyways, was that now they're 2 roads here, but they only have 1 option. So I think Black, interesting decision, but we'll see if that pays off. I'm not quite sure. Now for us, we've got an easy game. Very easy game. We are going to up our production through getting a settle, and we'll see if maybe we go 8-3. I think if we can easily do it, the extra wheat's always fantastic. The wheat port's also not bad, but given our ratios of ore and wheat, it probably is not going to come in that handy, and there's not that much wheat either. So I kind of like the idea of honestly just going to the 8-3 just to make our wheat unblockable. Yeah. And it's interesting, too, because we're actually really close to a settle opportunity. So usually, like, if rolls are going well and I have the 2 wood in this situation, I might just be inclined just to drop the road and go to 8-3 instead of wheat port. Like, for instance, if the 3's not rolling, if the 3's not rolling, then I might be less inclined to drop the road and take the risk. But in this situation where I already have the 2 wood, I really like the idea of going 8-3. So the idea is 8-3, 6-5-11 city, and then you just buy devs like crazy. We also have some great road building potential. So, like in the event that, let's say we do get a road builder or we get some decent trades that drop multiple roads, Sheepport's a great play for us as well. Especially knowing that we're going to be dropping the 6-5-11 city in the near future. Having the double sheep production and then the Sheepport and also picking up the wood. We just got great setup here. So in terms of competition, it's interesting because, man, this three's nuts. Blue has everything but the sheep, so they're going to be kind of playing that road building city game, but they're really spread out. They're kind of disconnected. I don't really see them taking road long term. So from that standpoint, I'm not too concerned about blue. I think orange has a fantastic or wheat sheep, right? Kind of living on this 4, which is going to be a fantastic block for me. And then black is definitely going to be the road threat. So I think blue's probably in the weakest position, depending on how they play it, what kind of trades. Feels like orange is probably going to be vying for the army race with me. And then I can see black potentially playing a road game. All right, so I'm trying to get a trade potentially. I ended up dropping the 2 roads to the 9-12. I don't mind this play. I do think while I have the roads, securing that spot's really nice for me. And again, thinking longer term about where my city's going to go. Really, I don't like the wheat port, but I love the sheep port for us. So the alternative there was that maybe I drop a road 8-3, and I can kind of just try to get that 8-3 settle and drop the city 6-5-11. But I like the sheep port flexibility. All right, I'm getting greedy with trades. If I'm going to give up my only wood, I'm going to get value for it. Whew. Massive 4-for-1. There's not. I really hate to see that much wheat go early, but I guess he got impatient. I don't really like that play from black. I think that's when you produce one of the best wood spots on the board, the best wood spot. I think 4-for-1ing there is a little unnecessary unless you absolutely have to. So I can already tell based on the way black's playing, they're not optimizing their position. They're not optimizing their hand. And unfortunately, now we're in a position where we got the sheep, but we don't have the brick. So hopefully we can get a 4 roll in the near future. So, I mean, everyone's doing well, though. I mean, black has the settle. Blue has the city. Orange did get their 3-1 on tap. And we're going to see if we can extract some value. We know our sheep is valuable. And this is something you got to be conscious of, right? When you control a rare resource, do not be giving away for cheap. I am telling you right now, that is one of the biggest mistakes a lot of players make is they take way too trades that are way too cheap versus if you just know where your leverage is at, you can get a lot of 2-for-1s. Perfect, man. This brick is great. Now we have multiple rolls, right? The 6 and the 11 give us a settle. The 5 gives us a city. And there's also potential trades, right? Like we don't need 2 brick. So potentially if we can trade brick for ore, wood for ore, and drop the city, we'd definitely like to do that over everything else. I generally find, and I've said this many times on the channel, oof, now orange is cooking. Nice. That is a perfect settle for us. So we're going to see if we can actually get a mega play here. This would be a settle city. Don't know if it's going to happen, but hopefully blue can share some love. No, okay. So now, we're hella close here, and unfortunately the 5 does get blocked. But the way orange is pacing this, it definitely has made them the target. And also black's pacing very hard too. The double settle on the 5-2 and the 3-1 8-10. Nice. And now we can roll the 6 or the 11 and use the sheep port. I like this trade. I'm going to take this. Yes, I kind of just broke my rule, right? I did say you need to get 2 cards. But in the situation where we're just getting a straight up city, it's worth it, right? Like, I don't want to take the risk when the EV of having a city, this turn's too high. My ore is being blocked. So I think this is a fair trade. If my 5 was open, I might be less willing to do it. And here you go, orange not tracking. To know that I have a city in my hand, I think I am the rob here over black or blue. But mistakes were made, right? Sometimes you've got to think a little bit deeper and not just simply see 4 points versus 3. You've got to look at everyone's hand to say, what does that hand have in terms of potential? And because they put the robber on the 9, now I'm getting an extremely powerful city, 2-1 port play. Here we go. We cook. All right. so far, great start. I think we've been pacing really well with the board. The rolls have been very timely for us. The threes have been great. This is not like, a given game. Like, we definitely have some challenges, especially with the way orange has been pacing. And then the 2 going absolutely nuts. Credit to black. 492 is a very interesting decision, and they've been getting some insane brick and wood rolls. So hopefully we can kind of delay their ability to drop the city, but they're getting amazing rolls. I mean, left and right. So I think they're very close to the city here. And that looks like a city drop to me. There we go. Yeah, so black, this is the thing. They're pacing extremely hard. And what's nice is I think the way our position scales, so because we're playing an or we cheap, a development card game, once we start cooking development cards, our efficiency goes through the roof. So the problem here for black is they kind of have to build these hard points. Like, they're probably getting road, but the thing is they're just going to be a target for the rest of this game while we're going to have that efficiency of buying development cards, staying off the radar. So I kind of feel like black is taking a really big pacing risk here, right? Because as soon as we start getting our rolls, like the 6s start hitting and we start buying devs, the 12, screw it, why not? And I believe the 6, yeah, so we're just going to keep the pressure. I like the 5. I like the 8. I think whatever kind of slows black down. I'm okay with, brick is fine. This is a development card. Otherwise, I'm also happy getting the wood. And with either of these trades, I'm actionable. I kind of have a little bit of a stuck hand, but it's not the world's worst situation. So I'm kind of communicating with blue here. I could potentially fight road, but I'll need some help. Sometimes, just having a game plan, being proactive with the communication, kind of wake up the board. All right. Interesting. Okay, the 11's hit. I'm telling you guys, if the 6s start rolling with a setup like this, it is money. There we go. 6s would be a menace here. Oh my god. 13 cards. I mean, just like that, a couple rolls and all of a sudden you're in the money. Interesting decision here. Do I end up buying a city? Do I buy 2 devs? Let's find out how the hand plays out, and I want you at home to pause and kind of decide what you'll do. Okay, I think here there's a few options. I like the double pop, right? Just starting to get into the dev game. Orange does have 2 development cards. That is kind of scary to me. So I'm going to try to potentially buy some devs and then drop the other city. But I like this. Mono's great. And then we're going to clear our hand. Mono into a city. And the reason I didn't buy a second dev there is because with the Monopoly, we have a lot of options, right? We can also go to more of like a build to 10/road game. So like you can easily see we settle for 6. We connect for longest road. That's 8. And then, city wins, road settle, city wins, pull some VPs and city wins. And again, looking at black's situation, the way they're pacing this game, it's extremely aggressive. So no matter how far I'm getting, black's always been 1 to 2 steps ahead in terms of that point and threat level. So here in the situation, you would expect orange when they play knight probably to hit black, to be honest with you. Because again, black's kind of jumping ahead every turn, which is giving me a lot of room. Now, I could get hit here, and I think that would also be reasonable, but there you go, right? Kind of crazy. I don't know if I agree with that. But this is a consequence of black just not being aware. And, okay, he's doing well. Obviously, black settles for 8. He road settles for 9. And then we're kind of in major trouble. But it's not the end of the world. We're doing extremely well now. 2 cities, Sheepport. We have a settlement coming. 2 roads in our hand. So far, I'm liking the way this is turning out for us. And if a 6 rolls, it's just the road settle, which is fantastic. So, good rolls only. Okay. Now that we've kind of got this flexibility with the port, I think what would be pretty helpful here is potentially going to the 8-3. I like that. I don't think we need the wheat port, but I think being able to pick up another wheat hex to where if the 6 ever gets blocked, absolutely cooking here. Good block is I like that. I also like the 6 wheat here. I think the 6 wheat's a problem. Here we go, man. Yeah. I mean, Black. Don't get me wrong. Black's doing fantastic, and their production is really cooking here. Hopefully, like with this situation, maybe we can kind of just, oh, nice 11. We can kind of work with the board and stay off the radar, and hopefully he plays a knight here. So now I'm thinking about blocks. I think it's got to go in the 8 wood. I don't really like the 9. It doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Like black's already got multiple sources of brick. The 2's been rolling, the 4's been rolling. The 8's just a free card. And there it goes, it rolls. So, you know what I've noticed? A lot of players at like these earlier ranks, especially like out of placement matches for me, they hate solo blocking. And I think it's one of the biggest mistakes that newer players make. They just have this automatic reaction to the share block just because, you know, maybe that's what they see in certain videos. For me, I think at this point, it's pretty reasonable to say like black's clearly in the lead. And it's not like I have army pacing or anything. So I think solo blocking black is probably our best bet. Obviously, I didn't solo block him there, but the problem is he already had the wood. So I want to see if I can limit his wheat option there. And of course, the 3 rolls as soon as I say that. So kind of difficult. He's got double wood, triple brick, double wheat. And the 5 doesn't seem like that great of a block. So sometimes you just got to deal with it. All right. Now, we are in territory. We do have the mono still, so let's keep that in mind. Also, multiple rolls. 6, 11, 12 even. We end up getting the plow on black, which I really like. Yeah, so orange ends up plowing the 4-11, which I wasn't crazy about, but it is what it is. You know, that was maybe my ticket to fight road. But okay, whatever. We're going to kind of cook the best we can here. Okay. Interesting. The 12! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So we're only at 6. To be fair though, road is not secure, right? I think black kind of made a little bit of a mistake there, not making the connect. But once they connect, I think it's pretty solid. They're going to get an extra 6 roads. So they're going to go to 11. So we have a window here, right? I guess if we can get like a mega mono where we can settle, like we need rolls. Oh my goodness. Well, that's definitely a roll here. Now, pause at home, what would you do? I think probably holding the mono is going to be one of our better bets. So I like here potentially using the yop. So we do have something like the settle pop. That's pretty good. Pulls the knight. Think getting the 8-3 is fine. We could have also, to be fair, considered going on to the wheat port. You know, maybe a question of if that was a mistake or not. Okay, well, that's interesting. Hopefully, one thing I'm looking at here too, another reason I like going on the 8 is more wheat production works extremely well with the 5 rolling. So if the 5s are rolling like this, and then we just pull a monster mono as an example, you actually don't even need the wheat port, right? Because it becomes functional. Man, this mono is looking super juicy. I really hope orange doesn't use their hand. Like 4 for 1ing the ore would be ugly to see, or 3 for 1ing. Okay. What are you going to do? I'm kind of praying, right? Like he needs to buy depth though. All right, 3 ore off the board. Still a lot of ore, especially if another 5 rolls or 10 rolls. Yeah, I mean at this point, we got a lot here. That's beautiful. So we can city there. And as far as I can tell, we have the ore port as well. I just realized that. City there. And at this point, well, we're citied out. So that's kind of a problem. But we do have settles. Like, we have a lot of ways we can win this game. Probably in hindsight, I should have ported. I should have ported there, maybe for a wood and drop a road onto the 6. But I guess I think, yeah, I should have done that, right? Because I can't use the ore. All right, we have the win in hand, which is absolutely insane here. Oh my god. Well, now we super have the win. Yeah, I think in hindsight, I probably would have ported and dropped the road just to clear my hand a little bit. But in hindsight, didn't really matter too much. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. 9's going crazy. I believe we still have it. We definitely have. If we 7, you know, we have pretty much enough for the road. Like, probably with the steel, we have it. Yeah, wood for days, huh? Jeez. Oh my god. Yeah, we definitely got it. I'm seeing if I can buy another dev. Yeah, it's kind of customary. You just got to clear your hand. And there you go. GG. Insane position, insane production. And I think this is a perfect example where it's like, just don't give this kind of setup to somebody. I think Black, yeah, he was getting a little funky about his attitude, you know, saying, oh, never focus only on one player. You pace too hard, man, and you're on 9 points. You know, it's like, if we didn't play against you and I didn't have a mono, you probably win the game. So I think you're not being kind of fair in terms of how this game actually played out. But there you go, guys. Great setup, great production. The rolls were fantastic. The mono's huge. Just a perfect example of a great build to 10 option where it's like I can buy devs, I can drop roads. This is why I love having the access to all the resources in the game, because like there's nothing better than just having the ability to stay versatile. You know, one of the issues if you play pure or we cheap is that it's kind of limited to essentially one objective, which is like you port or you roll into development cards, and that's great. But sometimes there are just situations where if you could produce just a little bit of wood or brick, it can really make the difference in terms of how your setup progresses and the momentum you can get. And perfect example, right? Like being able to get to the 912 here, and then getting the sheep port, and then using the sheep port, and then having the mono. Or even like being able to get to the ore port and then monoing the ore and dropping double cities. So these are things that, you know, I love. Or we cheap with like a touch of wood and brick. Mwah, perfect Catan. All right, hope you enjoyed that. All right, so we're cooking. We're over 50%. That would have been game 11 on the leaderboard. Thank you so much, Danny Crew. I appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon. You stay great. Go crush it. Get out of here. Peace.